everyone, Carolyn here. Welcome to another episode of Drunken Adventures. I'm coming to you today from one of my favorite places ever, South Mountains State Park. It's always an adventure, always something different here. I feel like it's just a lot of fun. There are so many different trails to go on. There's actually 3 decent sized waterfalls in this park. One is super easily accessible and it's extremely popular, and that's High Shoals Falls. I'm going to take you guys there today. There's also Shiny Creek Falls, which we're coming to the time of year where the leaves fall kind of falling off the trees, and so it is a lot easier to see Shiny Creek Falls. They're kind of tucked back away a little bit. The trail doesn't really give you a good view. You can see the top of them pretty well. It does get up close to the top part of the falls, and if you're adventurous enough, you can kind of climb down on a day where the water isn't very deep. If it hasn't rained in a while, there's not a whole lot of current, and a lot of the rock up there is exposed, so it's easy to kind of climb out up there, but you can't really get to the main event too well. There's a third falls that I don't even know if it has a name. It's really hard to find. In fact, I found it when I wasn't even looking for it, and it's actually really cool, very private. You can't get down to the very bottom to see it in all its glory, but you can kind of get alongside of it into some of the middle parts, and it's really pretty, really quiet, very private, because not as many people know it's there. And that is off of the Little River hike. I believe it's probably part of the Little River Creek. I'm not sure, because I know you cross a couple different spots. And there's sort of a slide that almost counts as a waterfall, so it could almost be a 4th waterfall. But the 2 big ones that are easiest to see are going to be Shiny Creek and, of course, the wonderful 80-foot drop, as well as some other cool little sections of High Shoals Falls. And I'm actually currently here on a little viewing dock that juts out into Jacobs Fork River. And this river starts right here, just not too far up from where I'm standing. And that's where Shiny Creek and the creek that goes over High Shoals Falls meet and join up to create this river. It flows through a large portion of the park. And this time of year, actually, I completely forgot, because it's been a year since I've seen it. You can actually kind of get some great views just on your drive down to the parking lot of the actual river that you don't get to see during the rest of the year because there's so much foliage. So welcome, and I hope you're as excited as I am to get to go on this fun adventure and get to see High Shoals Falls here in South Mountains State Park. So here we are a little farther up along the Jacobs Fork River, just kind of at the end of the parking lot where Hemlock Nature Trail starts, which you can use to kind of start or end your hike up to High Shoals Falls. Also parallel to it, there's kind of a ranger access road, and off of that is actually a trail that will take you up to the Jacobs Fork Overlook and Chestnut Knob. So those are a little bit more challenging and a lot of fun if you are up for it. They are longer hikes, a little bit steeper, but well worth it just for the views, especially at the Jacobs Fork Overlook. And the river here is a great little spot. It's always so photogenic, I feel like. I love to take lots of pictures. And also, you'll see in the summer, it's a very popular swimming spot. It's, that nice cold mountain spring water. So it's a great place to kind of cool off and relax. I've even just come and sat and taken my shoes off for a little bit at the end of some of my longer hikes in the park. And you'll see lots of families along the banks. There's a lot of great spots to kind of access it. And it's really shallow. The currents aren't typically too strong unless you've had a lot of torrential rain. Then it can be. So you do still want to use caution. But there's plenty of little rocky footholds and everything. So it's pretty easy to kind of keep your grip. And it's just a great little spot to just sit and be. I love this little river here. that runs through the park. So let's get started on our adventure. One of the other things I really like about this park is the education. There are all these kind of boards and signs, especially along the Hemlock Nature Trail here, that educate you on the environment that you're hiking through. So it's really a great place to come and learn. It's great for kids and even for curious adults. And this is just one example. There's all kinds of boards about wildlife as well. And those are some of the really cool ones. So be sure to check those out while you're here. The river is really a great spot to go salamander hunting. So definitely keep an eye out for some fun little critters to make friends with. So you know the falls I was calling Shiny Creek Falls? I stand corrected. Apparently they are Big Bear Falls. I didn't know that. But they are along Shiny Creek, and it looks like they finally opened the trail that they've been working on recently that will give you a better view of those falls, because the trail that I would normally take to go past there doesn't give you a great view. So since it looks like it's kind of short, why don't we check that one out first, and then we will hit up my favorite, Big High Shoals Falls. So as you can see, we are almost there to what I now know is Big Bear Falls. You can see kind of the very bottom little parts of it. You see a lot of small cascades below your big waterfalls like this. This hike is actually a lot steeper than I was expecting. It's entirely uphill, but it's less than a quarter mile. The sign said it's only 2/10 of a mile, so it's totally worth it. Just beware if you have dogs or small children. There is no guardrail along the side, and it's not quite a sheer cliff along the edges of the trail, but it's still extremely steep, and it's not the widest trail on the world. So keep that in mind, but is absolutely worth it. It's pretty short, so anybody can do it. As far as stairs go, they're only like 3 or 4 stairs at a time. Here's some stairs right here. They're not very long. I hate stairs, and it's nothing at all like High Shoals Falls, where we will have hundreds of stairs. I don't know exactly how many. I've never counted. I'll have to look that up for you guys, but yeah, there's a lot of stairs there. Here, this is probably the longest stretch of stairs. Very easy. Totally worth it. So let's get to the top, you guys. All right, you guys, so we have made it. This is Big Bear Falls, and I'm so excited to get to see this up close for the first time with you guys. I was expecting it to be a little bit bigger just from what I've seen off of the other trails. Headquarters Trail is the one where you can see this through the trees if you're looking hard enough. And it goes right up to the top part of this falls. I feel like there's a little bit more to it that you can kind of see again through the trees back farther off of Headquarters Trail. But it's still pretty incredible to get to see something like this up close. And I'll take you a little bit closer because it looks like the rock juts out where you can really get all up in there. And then down here looks like a great little swimming hole. There's not a whole lot of current. The water's pretty clear, pretty calm. It's just absolutely gorgeous out here. So, once again, this is Big Bear Falls here in South Mountain State Park. And I couldn't recommend this trail more. It's super short, super easy. It took me maybe about 5 or 6 minutes to walk here from the parking lot, and that was with me stopping to show you guys some videos. So very easy, very accessible for everyone, absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to show you a little bit more of it close up. So that's Big Bear Falls. For those of you who know me, I love waterfalls. I love getting to see new waterfalls, and this is just so exciting for me. It's such a great surprise to see this trail open. I was wondering if it would go here. I was super excited. I didn't realize it would be so short, but it's totally worth it. And now I can have 2 guaranteed waterfall hikes every time I come to the park. Because no matter what I do, I always have to visit High Shoals Falls because they're just incredible. And I'm so excited that I get to share this with you guys. I'm very sorry if you can't hear me. I know it's probably really loud with this waterfall in the back. But just come see it for yourself. Whether you live in the area, if you live in Charlotte, this park is about an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 minutes outside of town. It usually takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to get here. So it's not a super far drive, and it's totally worth it. Like I said, there's a huge network of trails. You can always make it into something different every single time you come. If you have horses, they actually have some great equestrian trails, and it's wonderful. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of this adventure with me. So there won't be any more surprises, but we still have the main event, High Shoals Falls, which is just one of my favorite places. So stick around for the rest of the video, you guys. So here we are back at the Jacobs Fork River. I am actually where the creek that flows over High Shoals Falls, as well as Shiny Creek, which flows over Big Bear Falls, meet to form the river here. So this is pretty cool. It's basically the origin of a river. Like I said, right ahead of us, that is the boulder field that makes up the bottom part of High Shoals Falls. It basically follows you all the way up to the catch pool for the main 80-foot event that most people think of, and most people stop at and photograph. That is High Shoals Falls. I'm going to take you all the way up to the very top, to the last 2 little cascades up there that not everybody actually takes the time to go visit. So here we go. So we've reached a pretty cool feature along our hike up to visit High Shoals Falls. This is part of the boulder field behind me, and it's pretty cool. You can actually hop around a lot of these really big boulders, kind of cross the creek at this point. Get some really good pictures. It's a very great spot to photograph. Those of you who follow my Instagram or who know me and have seen me post pictures on Facebook, you have probably seen a lot of pictures of this area. So definitely take some time to stop and just explore this little area when you come to visit. So we've reached one of my favorite portions of the hike, just before you hit the killer stairs that will take you up to the main viewing platform. You're going to come across a bridge and just these beautiful little water features that flow over all the boulders stacked up at the bottom of the falls here. This is where the boulder field gets really, really cool, really impressive, and it depends on how much rain you've had recently, what it will even look like. In fact, kind of that rounded rock that you see towards the top of this particular formation, I've seen completely dry before. So you never really know what you're going to get when you come this way. So again, you reach these nice bridges which give you a great view along the creek and beautiful views of the bottom of the waterfall. If you know me, you know how much I hate stairs. So this is where the hike gets frustrating for me, but I do it every time. It's not too long, and the view is just incredible. Look at this. Hi, sorry if this part of the video gets a little bit shaky. I don't have a good spot to set my tripod to be able to show you about the falls and me, but this is the main event of High Shoals Falls. This is the big 80-foot drop. It is so beautiful, so incredible. and even looking out away from the waterfall, you get some great views. And despite the fact that fall is just about over in terms of not so much the weather itself, but getting to see a lot of foliage, you still get to see the very vibrant colors that we get at the tail end of fall. Sometimes you kind of get everything all at once during the peak, but the colors are very short-lived. Other times it's more spread out, so you get kind of duller, just browns and dull yellows and oranges at the beginning, and then you move into just a lot of the prettier varying colors, and then at the very end you just get these nice little shots of bright red or bright orange that are incredible. So you can still see that here in the park, those really nice bright vibrant colors that are kind of a telltale of the end of the fall foliage season. And you can still see all of the different evergreens in the park. The laurels actually do stay green year round, and there are some firs, not as many as you might see out in the actual Appalachians. South Mountains is not part of the Appalachian chain. It is separate, a ways off from the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's its own completely separate mountain range that's just kind of randomly stuck in this part of the state, kind of nestled between sort of Morganton and Hickory. To get out here from Charlotte, I actually drive through Lincolnton and out through some gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful farm country to get here. So it just depends on which direction you're coming from, what you're going to be driving through. And this part of the park is kind of on the southeastern side of the range, so the mountains are smaller, but it's where the waterfalls are. Kind of that northwestern part of the range. And there is another access to the park up by Morganton that you can get to that takes you to the bigger mountains that really, really feel like you are kind of just deep in the Appalachians without having to go all the way out that way. It's a lot closer, and you get some incredible views out there. I haven't actually been to that side of the park. I'm still exploring this side and enjoying the ever incredible and amazing High Shoals Falls that you see behind me. So we are almost to the top. We are not quite done with our adventure today. So stick around. I know this video is getting really long, but we are almost there. So here we are, guys. We have finally made it to the top part of High Shoals Falls. Here there is a bridge crossing the actual creek itself, and it gives you some really great, incredible views, including across the way. You can kind of see a little bit of a bald spot that is the James Fork overlook, where you get some great views of both the falls themselves. You kind of have to look a little bit for them, but you can see them across the way if you go that direction, as well as the river below you. That is a beautiful hike if you ever get the chance to do it. So here, I will go ahead and show you all some of the incredible view that you get if you make it all the way to the top. I don't always make it up here, but it's nice when I do. It's just, this last portion is really challenging, and honestly, the best part of the hike is probably there in the middle where you reach the kind of big 80-foot drop there. So by all means, you can do just this hike. There is a whole loop, and I recommend doing the back side of the loop and then going down along the waterfall if you choose to go that route, just because that back side is kind of boring. There's a picnic area right here at the top, so if you've got your family with you, bring some snacks. Playing a long day, you can bring some snacks or lunch and sit there, or do what I do and just power through it all and have some little snacks like granola bars or fruit snacks with you to eat along the way. Just remember to throw out your trash. Please do not leave it behind, and please do not feed the wildlife. I cannot stress that enough. Please leave the wild if you do come out here and visit, or visiting any park, no matter where you are. I cannot send that message home any harder. Please pick up your trash. I say that in every episode because I really do mean it. I care a lot. and we want to keep places like this beautiful. So thank you for joining me on this great adventure. I'm going to make my way back down and probably go home or maybe stop at a brewery on the way. I haven't decided. We'll see how I'm feeling on my drive back. But definitely grab a beer and just enjoy what I have done and get this video put together for you. So again, thank you for joining me here in South Mountain State Park. Don't forget to wash your hands, pick up your trash, get out there and have fun. Thanks, you guys. Hi everyone, Carolyn here. Welcome to South Mountain State Park. You know what this means. There's going to be another episode of Drunken Wolf Adventures coming your way later on tonight, so stay tuned. It's going to be a special episode. I came across a big surprise and I'm so excited. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Don't forget, when you do watch my videos, like them so that I know that you've watched. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't ever have to miss an episode. And feel free to share the videos with everyone so we can all go on these fun adventures together. Thanks! See you later! Cheers, guys.